Well, I was about to say good morning, but we're getting really towards midday, so it wouldn't be correct. But thank you everyone for joining us today. As you can see from the screen, we're here to speak about the Amsterdam Challenge, which is a new exciting venture for us in 2025. We'll be taking a friendly, or a challenge on the road, I should say, with York in Amsterdam at the NRCA Stadium. So just a bit of a facts and a few things just to clear up before we get into the press conference. So it'll be the rugbyleague.com Amsterdam Challenge, and that game will be on January 25th, 2025 on a Saturday. The idea is to grow our brand, grow our footprint and take the game to the Netherlands, and that's for both ourselves, OKR, and for York as well. So Amsterdam, Netherlands, they're our neighbours. They're one of the closest cities to us. We have a very storied history with the Netherlands as well. As you'll notice downstairs, we have a dead bod from the filleting sheds of the old dock, so a bit of a link about that. That was put on there, and it was the last thing that seamen would see before they went out to sea into Rotterdam and Amsterdam. It's very much part of our maritime history, and with the Netherlands as well, it was very much a departure from the UK onto other shores, and that's very much how we're treating this. It's very much a venture into new shores in Europe. And with that as well, Amsterdam's actually closer in miles than Devon is, for a little bit of a fun fact as well for you guys, so very much our neighbours. With that as well, there's over 100 rugby clubs in the Netherlands as well, so there's very much a building culture over there. The rugby union and rugby league work very much hand in hand. It's very much a collaboration between them, an exciting collaboration as well. And with that, it'll be a whole car experience on tour. You see we've got Ruddy here. Challenge can't be here today, but he'll be there as well. You've got some of the posters just across the back wall there as well. You've got Craven Street, that's actually from the first night of Craven Street, and then you've got Al Pyro from when we played Lee in the playoff semi-final, eliminator semi-final. So it's very much we'll be taking Hull KR on the road, and that'll be the full Craven Street and Craven Park experience in the Netherlands at the NRCA Stadium. And just a bit of a link to that as well, the NRCA Stadium, just the one in the left-hand corner. So a traditional rugby ground in the Netherlands as well. It's where the Cheetahs played against French opposition in the European Challenge Cup. With a full house, we're expecting the same for when we play York in January. And with that as well, the city is only a few miles away, 20 minutes away, and the airport is close. So it's very much Amsterdam Challenge where everything's close together. And we'll have the fans will be able to enjoy themselves in Amsterdam and join us at the stadium later in the day. I'm very much looking forward to the experience. And we're very much starting small but aiming big. We're starting with the NRCA Stadium, but we're very excited to see where this collaboration goes. And the Amsterdam Challenge will keep building each year when we look to keep the challenge going into the near future. So with that, after those key messages, I just thought I'd like to introduce the Amsterdam Challenge. So we'll come to the head table, and firstly to Hull KR Chief Executive Paul Lakin. Can you tell us a little bit more about the concept, where did it come from and where it can go in the future?
It's all part of growing our brand internationally, so it's a real cool concept. Even these balls now, look, that's so cool really. We want to take the whole Hull KR experience abroad. I think our reputation for home games is well known in the sport, but we wanted to think outside the box. We've done quite a lot of work in the Netherlands with the foundation, in the community, in the schools over the last couple of years. As just been said, it's not that far away. Amsterdam's an exciting city. And it's something, we as a club like to show innovation. I think it's something that could grow. Rugbyleague.com, our sponsors, it's part of a 5-year deal. So this is year 1. That's why we're calling it a challenge. I'd like to say at this point, thanks to Clint and York City Knights for being our opposition. In the first year, a very like-minded club like ourselves, and I'm sure we'll really enjoy the day.
Lovely. And you say about year one of a 5-year deal. What are the ambitions and expectations for year one? What does that look like from an on-field or the event in itself, Paul?
Well, first of all, it's a fantastic experience for the fans. So I alluded to it with a chat with James last week at Red Humberside. It's a great concept for the fans for the full weekend. As I said, it's a great city. So the match on the Saturday, people will come over on the Friday, stay on the Sunday. What our expectations? We'd like to sell out. I think we will sell out. It's a nice little tidy stadium. Like I say, January, everyone's excited for the season ahead. We will, our foundation will be doing some work in the schools before that weekend. So it's something that we're serious about. It's something that we want to put a lot of time and effort in. This isn't a gimmick by no means. This is something that we seriously want to grow our brand abroad. So, like I say, the work in the foundation, expectations, a sell-out, a good pre-season challenge game, and a really good weekend for the fans.
And with that as well, just behind you, you've got our partner board, and just how impressive and how important have the partners been in making all this happen?
Well, a lot of these big projects and concepts never work without our sponsors. So, as I say, our main sponsor, rugbyleague.com, pivotal to this because they're backing us for 5 years. Oxon, our kit supplier, who's York's City United's kit supplier too, have really backed us. Language is everything. Supporting us, and several other sponsors too. So, and of course, Connexon and Soul Group are always supportive as our principal partners.
Lovely, and I'll just send the questions to our Hull KR head coach, Willie Peters. These type of events and tours, the big part of the NRL schedule and calendar, just how excited are you as a coach to be a part of this and take the Hull KR team across the Netherlands?
Yeah, as Paul said, it's a very cool concept, and any time you can take the game abroad to another country, you want to be part of that. So, it's a privilege for us and York to be part of taking the game over to Amsterdam. I'm sure the players will be excited about it, and now it's up to us to put on a good spectacle. Both teams play a really good brand of footy or rugby. The fans will be entertained, that's for sure.
With that as well, you've just mentioned it, it's a long way off, but in terms of opposition, York will provide a good test ahead of the 2025 season, and perhaps one or two first run-outs for people in red and white, particularly Jared Weir-Hargreaves or some of the young lads. Just some really exciting opportunities, I guess, to come in the Netherlands. Yeah,
definitely. So, it's a long way off in terms of what players that we do play on the day, but most of our squad will be here next year, so regardless of who we play, there'll be senior players taking part in that game. York's obviously got a lot of senior players in their side that have played Super League. So, as I spoke about before, it's about putting on a good spectacles and making sure that we do the game justice, and we'll do that. As I said, it's an honour to be part of.
With that as well, physically, the genetics of Dutch people lend themselves to a rugby league physique, big, tall, strong and powerful. It'll take some time, but a potential new pathway for Hull KR players and Dutch Robins potentially coming through. Is that quite exciting?
Yeah, always looking for big bodies, and so everyone's big compared to me, but yeah, so certainly, when it comes to recruitment and looking for avenues to bring players into your squad, ideally you want to look within first, but certainly once you start looking externally, you can take it wherever. So for us, it's certainly a pathway that we'll be looking for, looking at. We'll be keeping a close eye on. Obviously, this relationship's going to be happening for quite a number of years now, so it's a good opportunity for us to be able to help grow the game over there, and then just keep an eye on some players as well.
Lovely. And although it's been mentioned, thank you very much for York RLFC Knights joining us today. Really special to work collaboratively on this. And we'll just go across to Clint. Clint, how excited are you for York to be involved, and did you need much convincing on this?
No, it didn't take much convincing. To be a part of any sort of innovation like this in rugby league, and to be invited to the table, so to speak, is a real honour. The opportunity to collaborate with an ambitious club on the rise like Hull KR is something that probably reflects that we're of similar mindsets. We see this game as something that deserves to be spread across the globe, not just in the north of England and the southern hemisphere. There's no hesitation at all in getting involved. It was just a matter of ticking the boxes and making sure it was all done right, which, thanks to Hull KR for doing all that. It's brilliant.
With that, Clint, as well, in the IMG era, this is the type of project that you can develop off the field too and spread the York brand to new shores.
any time you can put your brand or brands in front of new eyeballs and let the game speak for itself, it's a step in the right direction. There's no doubt IMG is a part of everyone's thinking these days, but more importantly, it's just about doing the right things by the game and growing and exposing the game to new audiences is a big step in the right direction.
And lastly, record ticket sales for York this year. We'll be hoping for a healthy following of the Knights on tour.
Yeah, I can tell you from our trips to Toulouse last year and the excitement around that adventure yet to come this year, that once word gets out, we've got 3 great cities, 2 great clubs and 1 great sport. I can't see a reason why people won't jump on a plane or a train, and even from here I think you can actually get a boat across too, can't you? So they'll find a way to get there, and I'm sure that the bars will thank us for that as well.
Very good. I'll pass over the questions to Knights captain Liam Harris. It'll be a big test for your team going into 2025. Are you looking forward to that and that experience of taking a game abroad and playing against Super League opposition?
Yeah, absolutely. I think someone just mentioned it, like Joe who's potentially playing. Imagine some of our boys going to work on Monday and telling that story. That's great for us, and it's a really good challenge for us. Hull KR, obviously a top 4 club at the minute, striving for silverware. It'll surely help our preparations for the next season of 25.
Lovely. I'll just pass it on to Dan van Rossum as well, joining us from the Netherlands Rugby League Bond as well as chairman. Talk us through Rugby League in the Netherlands and how that's going and your ambitions as a national governing body.
Yeah, so this is actually the 3rd stint of Rugby League in the Netherlands, after 2, the first one being in the 80s. Now we started back in 2012, so we're running for 12 years now. A little bit of a setback with COVID, but we're still going strong, growing every year. We have 7 clubs now registered. 6 play in the men's comp. We're working on women's competition, starting that next year. We really go into, we sort of have a symbiotic relationship with the rugby union in the Netherlands, and that's probably strange for people here, where there's usually, of course, a clash between the codes. I think we're really trying to prevent that, and we're really collaborating, growing. We focus on the summer area, and I think it's going well for the last couple of years. So we often, our clubs using the facilities of rugby union now, for example, with the stadium. So it's really, I think there's a great ground for this sport to grow in the Netherlands. As you mentioned, about 100 rugby union clubs, about 25,000 people playing rugby. We're not as big yet, but we'll definitely get there in a few years, I think.
Lovely. And just a bit about that as well, just to boost. I mean, initially the foundation went over and did some work in schools, which is the grassroots and the backbone of our sport. Just how important was that, and how much can that help the next time around when we come to the Amsterdam Challenge and community engagement?
Yeah, it's been monumental for our game, because last year we didn't have youth or women, and now our women are competing against Wales in a few weeks for the World Cup qualification, after kicking Italy out and just losing to Ireland last week, 2 weeks ago. So so the help from Hull has been monumental, and I think this collaboration will help us get a lot further than what we're doing right now. So.
Lovely. And like I said, the women's programme is particularly strong. I mean, Ben Parker from Hull KR Women's played a part in that as well. Is a double header something you'll be looking at in the future?
I've actually already been nagging Craig about it, but hopefully we can get that off the ground soon, because I think our girls would love to play in their home stadium against the Roman girls. So it will be fantastic.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely. So I'll just take it out to the press as well that joined us today. Matt, have you got any questions?
Yeah, but Paul, why Netherlands? I'm sure there's a lot of places, a lot of clubs who would be interested in this. Why did you decide on Amsterdam?
Several reasons, but I think we've been doing work in the Netherlands for a couple of years now, and there's a lot more people playing rugby league out there than people realise. I think the concept of us taking Hull KR on tour needs to be a really good fan concept. So we're going to, as I mentioned, we're going to take everything that we do at Craven Park. We're going to take over to Amsterdam. Amsterdam's a fab city, so much to see and do. So it'll be a great experience for the fans. One of the worst things we could have done is took it somewhere solely for rugby league and have no experience for the fans. This, we think, has got the great marriage of both, where we can grow the sport, but at the same time the fans can have a fantastic weekend, both Hull KR and Yorks.
Is that the 5-year objective? Those two things you just said, grow the sport there, give the fans an experience.
Yeah, we want to continue doing work in the community out there, and that is something that's important to us. We want to grow the sport out there most definitely. Whether we stay for going to Amsterdam for 5 years, time will tell. But certainly for the next couple of years, that's what we want to do. Like I say, I think the fans will love it. Magic Weekend now is, for our fans, probably just one day to Ellen Road, whereas it used to be a weekend away. So I think this will be a fantastic weekend away. And I think the timing's brilliant for us because everyone gets excited after Christmas as the season's about to start. So what better way than a trip to Amsterdam?
Obviously the eyes will be on the game itself. What will happen throughout the 12-year period in terms of your work within the Netherlands? What will you be doing day to day, week to week that maybe people won't get to see?
Well, prior to...
Yeah.
So we'll be planning event the night before the game. So there's, like I say, there'll be a fans party. You'll go to the ground and it'll feel like you're going to Hull KR. The work primarily, apart from promoting the game, will be community work and work in the school. So that what we really want to do is we want to go out there and the locals be excited about the game, because we'll take a good few thousand, and obviously York will take some, but what would really be great is a sellout crowd with plenty of locals at the game, and that will only happen if we go out there and work, and that's what we'll do.
Will you are a meticulous planner. I know that Tenerife normally falls in and around that time. Will you be spending some time in Amsterdam before as part of pre-season? How do you see it working for you guys?
The party the night before, I heard. Look, so we're obviously going out for the day, but I'll certainly go out at some stage just for a day as well. Just to plan, obviously have a look at facilities and things like that. We'll still have our normal Tenerife camp, and as I say, myself and our head of performance will head out just to have a look at the facilities and get familiar with it.
Would you like to go straight from Tenerife or do a European tour?
I think it's an in and out trip for us. If we could have got it earlier, maybe it would have been a 2-week thing, but no, it's just, there for business. One day in, one day out. Obviously, we'll have our build-up. Our pre-season camp will still be in Tenerife, but we're pretty much there for business day in, day out.
Mm-hmm. And Paul, just one last one for you. How important, obviously we know about Port Moresby Vipers as well,
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea. Seemingly there's a very concerted effort from the club to expand links, pathways and whatever else. Just for people who maybe don't understand it, why do you feel these relationships that you're trying to build and establish are so important for the future of the club?
Yeah, well, first of all, it is very much part of our international strategy to expand. So, well, first of all, we believe that it's the best sport in the world, and I don't think enough people shout about it. Clint alluded to it before, why wouldn't you get involved in something like this? Papua New Guinea was and is a unique partnership that is primarily around developing young talent, as you know, from Port Moresby Vipers Academy. That said, our brand will grow in Papua New Guinea without any doubt. They're fanatical over there, and our socials are already showing great uplift because of the interest they're now showing in Hull KR. This, again, is the second announcement. It's not the last either. There'll be hopefully one in a couple of months' time. This is more about growing our brand in Europe, and it's about the fan experience of as I mentioned, going abroad to a great city. So to us, we, in other sports, this is the norm. Dare I say, in football, this sort of thing happens regularly. And it's just about showing a bit of innovation and a bit of thought. And I suppose this is our mini Las Vegas in Europe for us. And what we want to do, even today, the branding of the ball, tablecloths, etc. It's embracing ourselves in the project and the concept. It's not going to be a 1-year challenge. So, I think that we can grow ourselves in Europe too.
Yourself, James?
Why have you decided to take this on
yourselves, because you've obviously got IMG, who are working for the greater good of the game, you've got the RFL as well. So, A, have you approached them and worked with them on this, and B, why are they not doing this and doing similar things like this, and why have you decided to launch it without them?
Yeah, great question, really. Are IMG aware? They are, but I haven't made a big thing of letting them know. I probably mentioned it to them a couple of months ago in passing, because, to be fair to IMG, they're not they're here on a game-wide strategy. They're not here to develop individual clubs. That's for us to do that. And that so the question, to answer your question, why? I suppose internally would say why not? You know, we want to expand. We've got, I think. Within the club, we've got all the right people to be able to do that. We've got a very like-minded head coach, but we've got a great marketing and comms team. So it was all about marrying ourselves up with another like-minded club that wanted to embrace this project. So my big belief in running a club is that, you know, you take the lead on these ideas. We're not shy of doing that. And we want to go into new territories. So I think to get into new territories, you do it yourself.
Question for Clint. Who approached who when it comes to you being the opposition?
We're actually connected through a mutual partner in Oxon. So, you know, they've got a great relationship with Oxon, as do we. And I think, you know, KR were kind of, I'm probably speaking a little bit out of school here, so put me in my place if I'm wrong, but they were going, hey, you know, we've got this concept, we think it's pretty cool, you know, who do you think would be interested? It was probably just conversational, but we are eager to be involved in ideas and you know, firmly believe, as Paul and Hulk AR do, that this is the greatest product on the planet, mate. So anything that's, you know, thought through, planned through, and you know, takes on a little bit of challenge, we're attracted to. So, you know, there's no doubt the conversation came off the back of that, and then I spoke with Craig and the club, and it's mate, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's a fun trip. The fans will get behind it. You know, we're doing it the right way, doing it for the right reasons, and good things will come off the back of it. And the fact that it's a multi-year thing, from Hull KR's perspective, I think is the right approach as well, you know. These things take time and they take commitment, but being persistent is a big step in the right direction. So we're just excited to be a part of it, mate, and hopefully we'll be sitting here again next year. I'm just worried that they'll get rid of us if we beat them, you know.
Just one more. Does it help the fact that, you know, when you go to Rotterdam and you're about to board the ferry, there are probably two sets of pictures you see, and the coaches tend to say one or two things, either they're off to Hull or they're off to York. From a tourism perspective, there's a lot of people out in the Netherlands, I guess, that already know that York is a short ferry ride.
We get 9 million people a year come through York. You know, it's yeah, I could sit here all day and talk about the reasons why I got involved with York, rugby league being the number one reason, but it's a magic city. You know, there's a lot of things there that we don't need to sell, that people across the world come to see for themselves. So, you know, we're very much about building our brand recognition outside of just the tourism side. You know, getting the Knights and the Valkyrie brands out there as well. But you know, I don't think I need to sit here and sell the reasons why York's popular. It's a pretty cool place.
Lovely. I'd just like to echo what Paul said. Thank you very much for our sponsors today and our close friends that are here in the room as well, as part of the OKR family. If you guys have any questions, please stick your hand up and we're happy to answer them.
To our guests from the Netherlands, do you think the locals will buy into this? Do you think there's going to be enough interest and excitement about this to get a good crowd out? Because that's what we'd love to see, wouldn't we?
Definitely, and as Paul said, it's not going to come out of itself. It's going to be work, and we are not afraid to do that kind of work. I think for the game in a few weeks, we're expecting a crowd between 600 and 1,000 people. Well, I think we can copy that definitely for a game on the scales like this. And then, of course, with the fans from York and Hull, I'm pretty confident we're going to get a sellout.
We'll bring plenty of fans as well. So
I'll also do that.
Paul, just follow on from that, what measures will
Yeah, good question. There'll be, on the back of this announcement, there'll be quite a lot of promotion in terms of the travel packages. So travel packages are already put together in terms of flights. There's obviously opportunity to go by ferry too. So yeah, we've already got our travel partners put together. So I think that will come out today, Tom.
Yeah, so
Later on today.
Instantly at the launch, so travel packages will be available.
And the packages are 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So take your pick.